You ever wonder what real, lasting personal change actually looks like? I mean, we throw around the word transformation all the time, but what does it really take to go from just an idea to a whole new way of living? Well, today, we're going to dive into a journey of intentional growth and see exactly how that happens.
And we're going to start right here with this really powerful statement from Solly Lawrence in Uganda. Real transformation. That's a huge claim, right? And it's at the very heart of what we're looking at. For Solly, this isn't just some abstract concept. It's something he's actually lived through.
So that kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does that kind of change actually involve? I mean, how does somebody get from point A, where they were, to point B, a totally new person? We're going to break down that exact process, starting with the big idea behind it all.
So the whole journey kicks off with a core belief from the organization that runs this, the International GGI. And their whole promise is this: true growth doesn't just happen by accident. Nope, it happens through intentional character development. It's a conscious, focused effort. And the why behind all that effort? It's crystal clear. The goal isn't just, self-improvement for the sake of it. It's about building this incredibly strong foundation to produce leaders. We're talking about people who operate with real integrity, who have discipline, and who live with a clear sense of purpose. Okay, so how do you actually start building a foundation like that? Well, it all begins with what GEI calls the bedrock of transformation. And that makes perfect sense, right? Just like building a house, it all starts with getting that base absolutely solid. This first program is called Foundations for Achievement. Think of it as a dedicated one-year journey, and the focus is super specific. It's all about building discipline, strengthening character, and at the end of the day, learning how to live a life driven by real purpose. And here's how they do it, how they structure the whole thing. The entire year is built on these 4 key pillars, and they move from the inside out. So you start with your own internal world, that's self-government, then you move to productivity, then management, and finally leadership. It's this really cool logical progression. First you master yourself, then you're ready to make an impact on the world. And listen, this isn't just theory. People are on this journey right now. We've got students like Leopold, Anisette, and Ahampiria in Burundi, and Daisy and Janti in Kenya. They're all actively engaged in this process, laying their own foundations. It's a living, breathing program. But what does the day-to-day learning actually look like? It's one thing to have a curriculum on paper, but it's something else entirely to actually put it into practice. So let's see how they connect those dots. And this image right here, it illustrates the process perfectly. It captures a student totally engaged with that very first pillar we talked about, self-government. And if you look closely, what's he working on? Emotions and attitude. This is not some abstract theory. This is the practical, daily work of managing your own internal world. And that's the crucial thing here. This goes way beyond just reading a book or sitting through a lecture. The real power is in the application. It's about reflecting deeply, taking these principles and applying them directly to your own life, and actively working to build new, more disciplined ways of thinking. Now, this all sounds great, but does it actually work? This is where we get to the most important part of all, the results. And who better to tell us than the people who have actually been through it? Remember Solly Lawrence, who we started with? Well, here's the outcome of that foundational year for him. He says his life is changing, and, this is key, that he's now growing to impact others. See, the transformation isn't just for him anymore, it's starting to flow outward. And here's another voice, Joyce Oliver. She calls herself a living testimony. I mean, listen to that language. It's that same theme of this deep personal change that has completely reshaped her life from the inside out. So what we're really seeing in these stories is the tangible result, the visible fruit, you could say, that grows from all that deep internal work. It's the outcome of building those disciplined habits and achieving that inner transformation we talked about just a minute ago. But the journey doesn't just stop after 1 year, because a true transformation has to be sustained, right? And this is where it all starts to build into something even bigger, what we can call the ripple effect. So for graduates who finish that foundation course and want to go even deeper, there's a next step. It's called personal mastery. And this is all about making that change stick for the long haul and continuing to build a life of purpose and leadership. And the commitment to this deeper growth is spreading like wildfire. We're seeing students step up from Uganda and Burundi all the way to Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and Cameroon. This isn't just some local thing. This is a principle of leadership that's taking root all across the continent. Okay, now this is where that ripple effect really takes off. The journey keeps going because these dedicated leaders, they don't just master the principles for themselves. They become coaches. They start teaching and mentoring others, which multiplies their impact way, way beyond their own lives. And leadership like that deserves to be recognized. The source makes a point to honor Master Coach Dale Godwin for his vision and his investment in other people. It just shows you how much value they place on mentorship, on leaders raising up other leaders.
And you can see the direct results of that kind of mentorship in the latest group of graduates. I mean, look at their reach. It's global. From Martha in the United States to Kevin in Cameroon, Faniel in Burundi, and James in Uganda. This is the full cycle in action. You learn, you grow, you lead, and then you inspire others to do the very same thing.
Which leaves us with this final, really powerful question. Through this structured, intentional process, the seeds of transformation are being planted in people all over the world. So the only question left to ask is, what will the harvest be?